So let's say somebody has come to terms with the fact that they need to keep the precepts and be celibate if they want to get the right view. But they still struggle to understand what they're supposed to quote-unquote do as a practice, if not meditate in the modern sense. Because the precepts obviously don't tell you what to do. It's just a list of things to not do, and once you no longer do those things, you still have all this time left. So how can we describe the practice for such a person?
Well, they already described it, really. Precepts are about the things that you won't do. And you need to protect that for as long as your main mode of doing is concerned not about what do I do, but about what is it that I don't do and what I won't do regardless of what comes my way. That's what it means being established in virtue. Does not mean I learned the precepts and kept them religiously for so long. It means basically my values have shifted in a sense that doesn't matter what happens to me, what experience occurs, novelty, pleasant, unpleasant, doubtful. I might well not know what to do, what to say, how to react, but I will know what not to do. Like, I have no doubt about that because I've been purifying that beforehand. So that's why when you take on the precepts, yes, you take them on by body, you take them on through the external form, but the whole point is so that you can implement them on the mental level. As I said, killing, stealing, celibacy, non-celibacy, all these things, basically, you take on these precepts, and then yes, you stop engaging with those things with the body, but then how's your mind? Do you revolve around like throughout your day, thinking hateful thoughts, feeding them? Oh, but I'm not killing anybody, but I'm wishing I could, or I am. Same with sensuality. Oh, I'm withdrawn physically, but do I allow my mind to wallow and fantasize about stuff? And it's like, oh, I should really upgrade that and not allow it on that level, because that's where the physical restraint is supposed to lead to. You confining your mind within the beneficial behaviors. All while dampening and refraining from giving in to the pressuring tendency to do something about it, to do something about the practice, to meditate, but surely I must do something palpable, because all of that is just perpetuation of your own craving. All of that is the Silabhata Paramasa. Doesn't matter if it's concerned with sila or with duty. My duty is to meditate. It's like, no, your duty is to understand the Dhamma. Whenever people in the suttas meditate, monks meditate, when they translate that, again, colored with the contemporary Theravada views of watch your nostrils and focus 3 feet in front of you and squint through your eyes, as if these things are relevant to anything or anyone. Whenever they say meditate, that's what they kind of like to imply, or that's what it means. But when the sutta says meditate, they mean like go on and clarify things that are not clear. Why are you still subject to suffering? Why are you taking things as yours that cause you to suffer? Why can you not withdraw from sensuality? Why are you still relishing the pleasure that can be obtained through your body? There's like myriad of aspects and options you could contemplate every single day. You could meditate on every single day. It says a monk sickness, aging, death, exactly. It says a monk goes to an empty hut, says, as this hut is empty of others, so is this experience empty of the owner. Like, what meditation technique is that? It's not an empty visualization, how Visuddhimagga tries to present it. Just think these images and clay discs and whatnot. No, it's genuinely like, this experience, here and now, it's empty of an owner. I have a sense of ownership. I'm not denying it. But that sense of ownership cannot be mine. Now, that's not necessarily hard to understand. People can wrap their head around. But whether it will land on a dimension where it matters or not, well, that depends whether the behavior has been purified beforehand. Have they withdrawn themselves from sensuality, from the 5 hindrances? And that's the basic Satipatthana, by the way. These contemplations in regard to the body, feeling, mind, that's what Satipatthana is. That's why the Buddha says the one way only that leads to the purification of being, that leads to fulfillment of the 7 enlightenment factors, fulfillment of mindfulness, fulfillment of the Dhamma, Dhamma Vichaya, fulfillment of the energy and everything else, fulfillment of samadhi. Like samadhi as in state of composure that comes on the basis of passaddhi and calm, is the result of clearly delineating non-ownership, letting go, vosaga, that abandoning of the 5 hindrances and all of that. And actually there are suttas that says a monk abandons the 5, gradual trains, withdraws from sensuality, all of that, and then abandons the hindrances, and then can practice satipatthana to bring all these things to fulfillment. But generally it's just completely, as I said, yeah, but I must do something beforehand. And to be fair, as I said, most of the, if not all of the Theravada world today, it is presenting it that way, because that's even how the Visuddhimagga originally presented it. All these corruptions could be traced back to those commentaries, really. Whereby it's like, no, it doesn't matter the basis, it doesn't matter which you are, just keep stabbing in the dark and just keep doing these things randomly. Practice the sensation watching, calming, visualizations, practices and stuff, and sort of kind of make them sound like they come from the suttas, and then it will happen. Yet, again, you read the suttas, and it's a clear purification of behavior, speech, and mind that results in an enduring non-forgetfulness that then brings the joy, the blamelessness, virtue, brings the blamelessness, brings the joy, brings the calm, brings samadhi. There is no introduction there of, oh, and then do this and then do that. And it's like a very different flavor to it than if you just go on your generic kind of mindfulness of breathing retreat today. Whereas it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter the level of what precepts you hold, what commitment you have to the practice. Just do these practice of artificial calming, squinting, closing your eyes, visualizing, and the truth will reveal itself. That's just like, well, I bet even the mysticism of the Buddhist time, like the wrong views of the Buddhist time that had like a mystical leaning, were not as shallow as that. Had probably more to it, had at least some form of purification implied.
Well, to be fair, even the Visuddhimagga assumes that you're a monk.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't actually encourage those practices for lay people.
Well, there you go. I apologize to Visuddhimagga then. Yeah.
And also, a person may not realize that when they don't have unwholesome states present in their mind, that is also a work that they have to do to not let themselves fall into doing more as if, there's kind of, I always need to be purifying something.
Yeah, I always got to be doing something. My duty is waiting constantly. No, exactly, yeah. It's a skill that needs to be developed on account of not giving into that pressure of craving to be doing constantly and resolving doubts and stuff. No. Hold on. Things have arisen. I'm not acting out. Yes, there is a pressure to what? To understand or to get rid of or to replace discomfort with comfort. All these intentions are already there. You're not seeing them. And because of that, you won't see when you are actually in a wholesome state that you don't need to do anything about. You just need to prevent from slipping from. That's what I said. The true, correctly practiced mindfulness, it's effortless. And the sutta says you can't have too much of sati. You can't overdo it. You can't have too much of not forgetting about important things. But as I said so many times, even that's corrupted today through the same principle of, people through like whatever mystical learning, self-hypnotic practices, then try to read the suttas with those sort of framework glasses on, and then they see these things in the suttas that are not there, such as mindfulness means memory, means non-forgetfulness. So ask yourself, in the same sense, like in a colloquial sense, what does it mean to not be forgetful? Does it mean like focusing on every second of my experience day to day, watching everything in front of my eyes? It's like, no. By any stretch, like even if you want to try to do that in order to not forget things, you'll forget things. So how do you not forget? What technique do you do when you remember? And then you realize, oh, you don't forget basically when things are important to you. You can't forget, even if you want. So make them important. Make the precepts important. Make the breaking of precepts dangerous. Make it dangerous to act out of unwholesome states. Feel that danger, mindfulness is growing. And that's just how it works. As I said, in day-to-day life, in everyone's life. Like, non-forgetfulness is not something you do. Yet, as I said, everything that kind of becomes spiritual is allowed to mean what it doesn't mean. So, non-forgetfulness, mindfulness doesn't mean that anymore. It means a special focusing satipatthana meditation, hypnotic, calming practice. It's like, that will actually make you forget things. That will make you completely absorbed and oblivious to your experience as a whole. As I said in the other talk, understanding of stuff, like in a colloquial sense, everybody knows, okay, understanding means like getting the meaning, understanding, seeing for yourself, whereby you can explain it in your own words. You could sort of see it regardless of where you learned it from and stuff. You could see it for yourself and even put it in your own terms in that sense. But then when it was taken into the spiritual context, understanding doesn't mean that anymore. It just means anything and nothing. It means a novelty experience. Understanding of the now and the isness of the things and stuff like that. It's like, well, what do you understand there? But all these things are called to as understanding. Oh, he develops understanding by having a special meditation experience. We haven't understood anything. You just went through some novelty. Some novelty that you perceive through your senses, basically.